going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to everybody in the 49er fandom. It is me. It is Raj. We're here to talk 49ers latest news and all that stuff as we get ready for the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday. And me and Raj were just having an interesting conversation offline about the Jesse Sapolo interview that he had on Instagram. We will talk about that because that's freaking awesome. I don't know. Like I said, Raj, I was showing my brother and be like, I know this guy. He's interviewing Jesse. I thought it was great. So props to you.
Appreciate it, man. It was fun. I'm excited for Sunday for sure. But yeah, let's get into it. There's some good news lately, man. There's some good news since the last time we talked.
Yeah, Demo Lenore, Diamado Lenore. I like to call him Demo. 5 years, $92 million. Somebody posted a little bit on like the specifics of the contract, but didn't see that coming after the offseason we had with all the super late signings and all that crap, and what kind of strife that caused the 49ers this year so far. I don't know if you had any insight of that happening before it actually happened. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that was a huge signing because going into this offseason with Javarius Ward possibly not coming back, the Niners needed to lock him in. They also have Renardo Green is playing well. So pretty big news considering.
Yeah, that was the big news of the week. Cornerstone player Diamado Lenore. I love that, man. They got the deal done early, which, man, we would have been stressing all off. Pay Diamado Lenore. We would have saw the post. Pay Demo. They got to pay him because we would have been so obnoxious posting all those. Pay the guy. But I'm glad John Lynch, he learned his lesson a little bit, maybe, And I think also too, they got to get some of these deals done because the offseason is going to be crazy with Brock Purdy. They got a quarterback. They got to pay. They've done it before. People forget they actually extended Dre Greenlaw 2 years ago, way before the offseason. It was like a week 2 or 3. I remember Trey Lance got injured in Seattle, and then that was the year they extended Dre Greenlaw. So he's done it before, but I remember the whole story. Actually, they were supposed to extend Emmanuel Mosley, but he says, no, I'm going to bet on myself. And he, wanted to get paid after the season so he can like really build his case because he was on pace to have a Pro Bowl season. So the Niners said, okay, that's cool. We're going to go pay someone else. And it was Dre Greenlaw, took his contract. So, unfortunate for Mosley, he got injured. But that's what they did with Lenore. They say, hey, look, man. And Kyle mentioned it. They've been trying to build this contract situation. I kind of had an inkling because if you remember on Sunday night, and I tweeted this out, on Sunday night after the game, Diamado Lenore posted a picture of him and John Lynch. And it said, let me pull this up. This is this one right here, actually.
Foreshadowing here.
Kind of foreshadowed it. And I was like, when I saw it, I was surprised, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that's probably what he meant because they've been dealing it. And it was probably like, this week, we're going to figure it out. So let me find that. I got millions of tweets, man.
Don't mind him, guys. He's only one of the most sought after, searched after 49er content creator, Instagrammers. Twitter.
Right here. So on Diamado Lenore, so I posted this on my Twitter, and it's a picture of him and John Lynch.
All that.
And he wrote it. What he wrote on the caption is the first to see the vision, forever grateful. So why would he be forever grateful? He's getting paid, man. So I was like, I remember when I saw that and I posted it. It was like I posted that late at night. I remember I was like, oh shit. It was like 8:30 p.m. It's pretty.
Those are the ones we don't like. Someone like me doesn't pay attention to. I'll see it. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. But I noticed it. I was like, oh. Yeah. And then when the news dropped, I was like, oh, Demo paid his ass, and I'm so happy for the guy because he deserved it.
I had to check it a couple times because there was only one person who had did it. Yeah. And then I saw you, and I saw a smattering of other people who were like, I was like, okay, it's official.
It's great, man. He's a guy that was a 5th-round pick, and 49ers are 5th-round picks.
Crazy, bro.
It's unbelievable. Kittle, Demo, Greenlaw, just to name a few. Those guys are absolutely amazing. And his guys worked his way up. His rookie season, it was up and down. We all know the video he posted and on his Instagram where he got the team fined. He made a joke yesterday saying, now I could pay Kyle his son's tuition back. So I'm so happy for Diamado Lenore. Because, again, that's less of a headache we have to deal in the offseason. And they got a good, bright future ahead of them on the secondary. They got Renardo Green, Malik Mustafa, Jair Brown, and Diamado Lenore. So it's kind of writing on the wall that one of these guys aren't going to be there, like Hufanga maybe, Mooney Ward, which I hope he could come back. But, we'll see how it goes. They got younger guys. You got to save money because
Yes, you do. I just think it's great because, like, we've always been the secondary's always kind of an afterthought for this team for a while. It's always been linebackers and defensive ends, like edge, linebacker, focus, and that's fine because they've been productive and they've helped us, get to the conference championship or Super Bowl for 4 out of the last 5 years. But the secondary to hit on Malik Mustafa, to hit on Renardo Green, to already have Demo, and unfortunately, what happened with Javarius Ward and his family. Don't know if you're going to see him around much for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if he even came back this season. To be honest with you, that's just me.
I think he will. I think he'll play, but you take all the time you need in that situation. I feel bad for the guy. I've talked with him several times before in the past. I mean, he follows my Instagram page. Super nice guy. I just was devastated, just like everybody else when I heard that news. So, I mean, if he needs to take another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whoever, if he doesn't play the rest of the season, that's totally fine. Yep. But the good news for the 49ers is you're right. They really have taken a larger kind of inkling to get these cornerbacks, secondary play. Like they've put more emphasis on that because in the past years, they go, don't draft anybody. They don't take anybody serious. And then here comes week 1 and you're like on the waiver wire and they go get, what was that guy they got? I remember the video. He was like on his couch. It was, why can't I think of his name? He was the guy that always had the forced fumbles and he had all the penalties.
Josh Norman.
Yeah, Josh Norman. Sorry, I blanked. Yeah. Josh Norman. I remember he made a whole video. He vlogged it. He's sitting at the couch waiting. He knew it. He planned it. Oh, I go. You want me to play before? I was like, come on. It was like a week before the season or something. It was like breaking news. The 49ers signed Josh Norman. And he was absolute so bad. But people liked it because he got the forced fumbles. But otherwise, in coverage, he would always let up a big play, always get a holding call, always get a PI. I mean, I was going crazy. They had another cornerback. I think Drake Kirkpatrick. He got cooked. I can't remember what running back, but they broke this man's ankle so bad.
Cardinals. Was it
Cardinals?
Big man, you know what I'm talking. We all know. We know on the Cardinals who the running back is. He's a mean guy. Conner? Possibly.
I don't remember who the running back was, but I remember he got cooked so bad. He got
stiff arm in the next week.
The next game, he was off the team.
That was bad. That was a bad look, man. That was a bad optic. 49ers throwback has the details. A 5-year deal worth $88.8 million, $15 million in guaranteed at signing, and $43.3 million in total guarantees. Not a bad gig for a 5th-round pick. It's pretty substantial. He talked about one of the main things was just security for his family. I mean, somebody gave me $43 million. I think I'd be okay for a while.
I'd be pretty good, man. Yeah, I was so happy for him. He said he broke down in tears when his agent called him.
Yep.
Good stuff. Generational money for him, of course. He's the 12th highest paid cornerback. Honestly, I think it's a steal. I think he's better than that. But, with the money, he's smart because you never know what's going to happen in the season. And hopefully he doesn't get hurt. But $43 million injury guaranteed. I mean,
and I don't think this is the last deal the 49ers are going to give him if he keeps playing well. The Niners will always reward their own guys before they reward somebody outside the building, especially players who kind of demonstrate, what this team is about and kind of have the qualities that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan find super important. Other than that time where he posted that video that he wasn't supposed to. And, I guess in his first year, Bosa said he was kind of an airhead, which is kind of, I was like, geez. But that was a little rough. But I mean, now he's one of the best players on the team. Bosa said something like he'll be here as long as I'm here, hopefully. So
the team loves him. You could tell he's kind of like a young captain too, like a young leader. He's going to be
one of my favorite players on the team, and he doesn't get a lot of pub, which is great.
No, you're right. I got to get that Lenore jersey. I think I'm going to get a number 2 jersey now. Now we know he's
getting a number 2, and then if Renardo Green plays better too, I might have to start getting some corner. I'd be the fattest cornerback out there, man. Being that weight that I am, though, I need to start getting like Joe Feliciano and Trent Williams jerseys.
Oh yeah,
I'm a little heavy in the backside, so I need to.
It's all good. But that 2, I might need to cop that 2 jersey because that's it's a good number. And I mean, Lenore's here to stay for 5 years till 2029, awesome. So we'll be able to rep them up. Corners are good this team, but there's another guy that we got to talk about. I'm going to transition here. Today, return to practice. George Kittle, he's been dealing with hamstring injury today or this week, but he's back at practice. That's fantastic news because George Kittle, he kills the Seahawks. He's so good, man. I love George Kittle. He's been cooking his last 7 games, 7 touchdowns, touchdown machine. this guy today, Brock Purdy, said that he's thankful to play with George Kittle because he feels he's a future Hall of Famer, which obviously he is.
Absolutely.
Where do you rank George Kittle in the all-time tight ends list for the 49ers? We've had some
Number
good
one.
tight ends. He's number one to you? Yeah.
Brent Jones, number 2. Vernon Davis, number 3. No hate on Vernon. I just think Brent Jones is a better pass catcher.
Yeah.
He did it in the no glove era with just tape on his fingers. He took some vicious. Now, I know that the Cam Chancellor hit pretty much upended Vernon Davis's career, but like if you go back and watch some old 49er tape, some of the Brent Jones hits that he absorbed, wow. And like I said, he played in the no, like he didn't wear gloves. I mean, Jerry Rice would wear the gloves, John Taylor or whatever, but he was as old school as you can get. Jerry Rice was number 1 in that era between like say 88 and 95. You could go back and forth with John Taylor and Brent Jones, who the number 2 was, as far as pass catcher. Brent Jones, vastly underrated as a tight end.
So underrated.
Of course, we're 49er fans, so we know who he is.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people don't. A lot of people, I think you're right. I mean, Vernon Davis was a touchdown monster. Like there was a point of his career for it was like a good 3-year stretch where holy man, this guy, he was like the offense with the 49ers. I liked him. But before he got that, I mean, he came out of college and he was a freak. He was a first-round pick at tight end. Like that's, he kind of changed that position. He was one of those genetic guys, those freaks that you're like, oh, this guy can run that fast. He's that tall. He could jump out of a building.
Delaney Walker were like the 2 most freaking big, just rocked up tight ends I've seen in a long time.
They were insane. I loved Vernon, but he kind of, you're right. The Cam Chancellor hit was big. And then there was a play against Tampa Bay. I mean, Cap throws a bullet. He catches it. He runs into the wall. I think he got a concussion. He just never was the same after those incidents. But he was great, and then he moved on to Washington, threw a little shade at the Niners. I never forgive him for that, but he definitely was a 49er legend. I definitely think Kittle, in terms of tight end, overall, I mean, because he blocks and catches, and he runs routes like a wide receiver, and he's just a good person, good human being. Like it's just
him and Kelsey are both Hall of Fame tight ends.
Oh, easy. Those 2 guys are
no
going to go in. I hope they go in together. Honestly.
That would be the best. That would be an awesome class. I know this has nothing to do with our topics, but I saw Julian Edelman and somebody else. They were talking about where you'd rank Fred Warner.
Oh, I saw that video. It was him and Gronk. They got their own.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, they got mad respect for Fred Warner. He ain't even done yet.
No.
If Fred Warner could get a chip on top of all his other accolades, bro, that would be Fred Warner's. For all the strife we've been going through this season with bad defensive play, if there's one person that simplifies steadiness, regardless of how crappy everything around him is, it's number 54.
I love Fred, man. Like this guy, you're right. Stability. That's the word that goes with, Fred Warner. He's always consistent. He's great. He's the best player on this defense every single year. And he gets better, which is crazy, and he said today, George Kittle, he's, because he's turned 31 or whatever. And he says, he gets better. Like he ages like a fine wine. I think so does Fred Warner. They both get better as they get older. Like the game doesn't slow down the game slows down for them. And they're just so good at what they do. And Fred, man, I remember first year, rookie season, they threw him at the mic, and he hasn't looked back. He was the Mike linebacker from day one, and he's been leading the way. And you just see how good he is. And he's so good. Both of those guys.
You know who didn't have a high grade on him? Larry Krueger.
Oh, yeah.
Go back and ask, if you get a chance next time you're with Larry, what his overall assessment was of Fred Warner. It'd be interesting to see if he tells you the truth.
I'll ask him.
He was nice. He just thought he was more of a coverage linebacker. I don't know exactly it wasn't glowing. Like
a lot of people expected Fred to be as good as he was. I think there was a lot of people that they were like, oh, okay, good linebacker, but like, because he was kind of a hybrid, right? He was a safety linebacker. He wasn't like, honestly, I don't think a lot of people saw him become the player. A lot of people didn't think he was going to be the guy that he was, but that's the thing. He worked his tail off. Him and Kittle, man, like they both were guys that a lot of people are like, oh, Kittle's just a blocking tight end. He didn't put up those receiving stats in college, but the 49ers saw something in both of them. It's a credit to this coaching staff. They've really developed both of those guys and their franchise players. Real quick, Aaron 49ers throwback says, is George Kittle the best player on the 49ers right now? What do you think? And then we'll get to that next question.
Nah, it's Fred.
It's Fred.
If Fred's here, he's like,
it's close.
It's
close. George Kittle's
Fred to me is he doesn't get hurt. I'm not. Can you really? Not. I don't know. It's tough. But if you had to, Fred is number one, and Kittle's like one A plus. Like,
it's close, man. Because Kittle does so much for this offense. But you're right. Fred Warner does so much for the deep. They're top of their position now. So it's good to have them both on the team, though.
Oh man, it is. It's really good. Yeah. Anything else like breaking we want to talk about, or you want to jump over?
Before we get to that, because we're going to spend some time speaking on that topic that that was highlighted. So today, Juwan Jennings popped up on the injury report today.
I got the injury report as early before that was added to it. Is it even on here? I don't have it on here.
Yeah, they didn't have that till I was driving home, and then I see it pop up, and I'm like, oh God, man. And so it's an ankle injury. He was limited. It's limited now. Jennings is a tough guy. He's a hell of a player, but you got to realize he plays physical just like everybody else on this team. But he did get added to the injury report today. He was limited. It's going to be interesting to see if he can come back tomorrow and practice and be ready for Sunday. We need Juwan Jennings, man. The Niners need Juwan Jennings. He's their new X receiver. He got he took over Brandon Ayuk's role because Brandon Ayuk is hurt, obviously, and he was stellar, man. He made big time plays. I'll tell you, in that fourth quarter, in that last drive, Ricky Pearsall made some big catches, but Juwan Jennings made some of the most impressive plays. And that last catch he had, where he had the mental IQ to continue to get more yards, like he went out to get a few more yards because he knew, Jake Moody, you missed 3 kicks already. I need to put you in position to get this field goal, and he did. So the 49ers absolutely need Juwan Jennings because he's a clutch player. He's a smart player. He's a gritty player. He is a key component. He's the $30 million receiver in my eyes. So I hope he can play Sunday. And now you're muted. Can't hear him. Aaron's done. He's cooked.
I'm trying to figure out how to add something to here. But yeah, him being hurt, that's a late add, and it makes me nervous. Because people are like, oh, it's Ronnie Bell's season, and they're joking. I'm like, that's not funny.
No, it's not.
That's not funny at all. Ronnie Bell needs to stay away from the field as long as possible, to be honest with you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. He's allergic
I posted, and he's allergic to being on the football field too. Damn it! Gosh darn it!
I'll tell you what. If Juwan Jennings is hurt or limited or can't play, whatever. Again, we don't know his status for Friday or Sunday because it's Thursday right now. I'd expect Ricky Pearsall to take a big leap, and maybe Jacob Cowan, but also Deebo Samuel. Man, there's a lot of disrespect on Deebo Samuel. This man, career against the Seahawks, 8 catches and 8 touchdowns in 8 games. He has 8 touchdowns in 8 games. This man kills the Seahawks. So if anything, just give the ball to Deebo, man. He'll take care of the Seahawks himself.
So I'm looking here. So they did not practice Bosa, hip, Trent Williams, ankle, wrist, Mitch Mosnowski back, Javarius Ward, of course, bereavement.
Yeah.
Kevin Givens, who's always hurt, groin. He literally is always hurt.
He is.
McCaffrey, I know they're monitoring him. I wanted to ask you about that before we go into all the fake doctor reports that he had to deal with during his time off. Mason, shoulder, no contact. Conley, hamstring, and Joe Feliciano, forever injured with a knee.
Yeah. So, it feels like most of those guys are good to go. They're coming back. Also, I think David Lombardi noted that Yatir Gross-Matos practicing consistently. He should be coming back soon. So that's good.
I thought maybe because I saw a report that said he might be back this Sunday.
It's possible. That's what they're hoping for. But we'll see how the rest of these days go. He's been practicing. We need some depth because Kevin Givens hasn't been able to play. But we have players like Sam O stepping up. The other Evan Anderson, he's been really stepping up. So the guys.
When he's not committing penalties, he actually plays pretty well.
Yeah, he's got to. I mean, he's young. He's got to figure out that part, but that part of the game needs to clean up. He's been playing really, really, pretty good actually.
When he's committing all those penalties on Sunday, I was like, put on a real
I
helmet.
know, but then he redeemed himself with one of the biggest plays of the game Sunday. So
did somebody ask me, is this Sami Zayn from wrestling? Yeah, baby. I'm part of the bloodline. Get up.
Yeah, bloodline, baby. OG bloodline. Acknowledge him.
That's right. No, like okay, so like if we're gonna do this right, you're like Roman Reigns, I'm like Sami Zayn, so I'm acknowledging you.
You're acknowledging me. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, baby. That was great. Oh, speaking of injuries, I wanted to play the video that I have here of you reminded me to upload it. It's Christian McCaffrey talking about some of the most erroneous things that he heard while he was hurt. During one was during a Monday Night Football broadcast. So I'm gonna play it.
I reached out to a few guys. There's some guys that were really helpful. I think one thing I learned about just the whole process is you get a lot of Instagram doctors out there. You know, some guys that, I had guys diagnosing my injuries, PhD doctors. I'm watching a Sunday night game, and some doctors talking about my injury on the TV. I couldn't believe it. I never talked to him in my life. He's never seen, imaging, talk to me, diagnose me. It's just kind of the world we live in now. So I tried to, stay focused on my plan, what I trusted in, and go from there and try to limit all the outside noise because everybody's got an answer and they're all different.
I love that dude.
I love
that guy.
I'm so glad he's back, Aaron. I was like, oh my God, when I saw him come back that day, I was like, he came in all black, Terminator, looked like he was ready to kill someone. I was like, yeah, he's back. He is back. Oh man, I was hyped up, man, and it's good to see it. He really. I feel like he did help this offense a lot, open it up. That was his first game back. He got 107 total yards of scrimmage, like in his first game back. They used him a lot.
60 reps. Remember, Adam, was that we didn't do anything last. I'm not sure. I don't think me and you did anything last week.
No.
One of the other guys that we were talking about last week were like, what is Kyle going to do as far as touches? Is he going to play the safe game, be safe with it? And sure enough, he's in there almost 60 snaps. I'm like, nope, I guess Kyle never learns.
He just was like, screw it, we're gonna play him the same way. But they said he could have been playing against Dallas. I feel like they just got to be really careful, and he ramped up. But also, this is my take, was CMC's the type of guy that if he wants to play, he's gonna tell you, I'm okay. Like, you can't take out CMC. He's gonna do what he wants to do. He's Jordan Mason-Garendo do need more touches. You want to be careful. You don't want CMC to get hurt. But if he's in the game, it's hard to not have him in there. And there was certain times where he would run a route. He didn't get the ball, but, man, he opened it up for Jennings and Pearsall, and it just was nice to have him. But I thought the red zone would improve like that. It still needs some work.
You guys are idiots. I love you guys. Talk about Domino's pizza.
Yeah.
Domino's is like the last ditch effort when I come home from work late at night and I'm like, oh, I want some cheesy bread but yeah, nothing compares to like authentic Italian pizza.
Oh yeah.
We did sign a punter the other day for the practice.
Yeah, he looks like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo Jr. How are people that good looking and in sports, man? You can't be Bo Jackson. You can't be good at all of it. You can't be an athlete and be a model at the same time.
It's not fair, man. Yeah, he's good looking and he's good at sports. But I mean, I
got great hair and everything for an almost 45-year-old, but that's pretty much where it ends.
Let me find it. They signed him yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Here's the guy. Look at that.
Oh, he's got great hair. He's got Rogers hair. He's got your haircut going on there.
Yeah, he does. I posted on my Instagram.
The Dream too from back in the day.
In my Instagram, under the comments, I put, I commented on my own post. I put Jimmy G from Temu. Oh, my people were laughing their head off. I mean, he looked like Jimmy G from Temu. His name is Pat O'Donnell. They signed him because
that's such an Irish last name.
I know.
And he's freaking. He looks like and I can say this because I'm half Sicilian. He looks like a Guido.
Oh, he looks like a Guido. Yeah, he looks like. Did you watch that show?
Jersey Shore, like
Jersey
a bada
Shore.
bang. How you doing? Yeah, he's one of those guys.
He looks like one of those guys.
Yeah, one of those guys. Those guys.
He's like one of those guys. Yeah, one of those guys.
Man,
but I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah, they think they're Italian, but no one acts like them in the real country.
I know. That's
my uncle hates it. He's like, that's not us. We don't. My mom's brother. He's like that. I hate it. Gives us people a bad reputation, like us American Italian, Italians that live in America. They think we're all a bunch of gangsters, like Sopranos and stuff.
It's
Apparently
funny, though,
that's what
man.
everybody thinks.
Yeah, that's like how the stereotype. It's like a stereotype, right? But it was, man. I mean, hopefully Mitch Wishnowsky could play. He's got a back injury,
Jeez, that
but
thumbnail.
this guy might have to play. These comments, they had me. I was dying in the comments. Somebody said Jimmy G thinks he's slick. Ty Austin said looks like a dude playing Jimmy G in a documentary about Jimmy G. This guy said Jimmy G was so bad at quarterback he became a punter.
He looks like a dude playing another dude. That's what he looks like. Yeah, that's exactly.
This guy said, "You're telling me that isn't one of Jimmy G's cousins?" Oh my god.
That's not Grimmy Garoppolo. That's
Yeah. Oh, this comment was gold. I didn't see somebody said they should make Ronnie Bell switch numbers with him just to F with people.
Yo.
Jimmy's number.
Jimmy Garoppolo comes out to punt. Wow, and he skies that one. Oh, he got hurt.
High ankle sprain. That's a high ankle sprain.
He hurt. Now he's going to be out. Oh, he left the stadium during the game after hurting himself when he broke his ankle. Who leaves the stadium? Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo does.
That's funny shit, dude.
Jimmy should take up punting as well. That's hilarious.
So funny, dude.
What else? So should we? I want to talk about. I want to talk about the. Oh my God, my brain is fried right now. Our quarterback Brock Purdy. I saw an interesting video, and we have all the perception of Purdy in the national media, and a lot of it is really, really skewed and weird, and people just love to talk and trash him. You got guys like Colin Cowherd and other people who just
Nick Wrong,
Birdman. Yeah, man, I wish I could go back in time and go to high school with him. Dude, I would dump his books every day. Just walk past him and be
he probably did get him dumped. That's why he is the way he is.
Comic wedgies, book dumping, probably got pantsed a couple times in the middle of gym class, that kind of stuff.
I'm sure he did.
All right, I want to play this video because I thought it was telling. Debo, I give him a hard time for being hurt and stuff and all this. But the last 2 weeks, the last two things that I've seen from Debo on video have kind of changed my perception of him. So I want to play this.
First
for sure.
Foremost.
Yeah.
Come on. We got to talk about
foremost.
Brock Purdy, of course. 25 of 36, 353 yards. Wildly impressive. 2 touchdowns. Question for you. Should Brock Purdy be considered for MVP?
I mean, if you ask me, I'm always say yes. I don't know what the outside noise may say, but in my eyes, even if he wasn't my quarterback and seeing him do the things that he do, I would still say yes. What really sticks out to me about Brock, and he kind of do this a lot, but I don't kind of too much like get into it because we was just on the way back from Tampa.
Yeah.
And I walked past him and he looked kind of a little frustrated a little bit, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, you almost just threw for 400 yards. We won the game. He was like, bro, I just got to be better. Like, that's always his mentality of like, I just got to be better. And he was just sitting there kind of like beating himself up. I was like, bro, we just won the game. This, that, and the third. He was like, bro, I just got to make this throw. Got to make this throw. Got to make, it's just the little things about Brock.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys get to see for sure. But the leadership skills of Brock is through the roof, and that's one thing that you got to respect about him. Even though he's almost threw for 400 yards, he's still like the guy was like, bro, I got to be better for you guys and make this play, make that play.
Why do you think the transition into the starting position was so seamless for Brock Purdy when it's not super seamless for every young quarterback in this league? I mean, it just looked like it happened very quickly. Is that because of the guy that he is in the locker room and the way that you guys...
He wasn't, it's crazy. He wasn't always that guy. Like, he wasn't always like the guy that want to talk or the guy that kind of like speak to people, this, that, and the third. Because, I mean, he was... Right. It was Jimmy, it was Trey, and then it was Brock.
Yeah.
But kind of like I said earlier about the culture of like being around the guys that we have, like you step in the huddle and you just look around, you like, okay, I just got to do this, and then we're gonna win. And then once you get past that part of just like, all right, I can do this, get him the ball, and then start thinking about all the things that Kyle wants you to do as a quarterback. And as weeks and weeks come along, it's just like, all right, this job ain't really as hard as it seems with, with how the mind that Cal has for us, the offense and the weapons that he have around. But don't get me wrong, like Brock make plays with his legs more than people think, and also he make off schedule throws that people think it's supposed to go to this person, but in reality, that's just Brock just being the quarterback that he is.
Nice.
That's good. That's good. I love Debo. Listen, the thing, man. That's a hell of a compliment to say, how locked in he is, and he's a perfectionist, and that's Brock Purdy, man. He's gonna go out there and continue to be the better version of him, continue to make himself better and better. The media is gonna hate on him, but man, these teams or his teammate, they see how hard he works. They see what he's able to. They see it firsthand. Like the media is gonna, he's the last pick of draft, Brock Purdy, and he's not that. They like to hate Brock Purdy. They like to hate the 49ers quarterback situation because it's been a long time since they had a really good quarterback. It's been years. Like that was the thing. 49ers have been known for, ever since Montana, Steve Young, and then, Jeff Garcia. After those guys, I was like, okay, who's their quarterback? Alex Smith was good for a little bit. And then, they're just quarterback.
Cap was dynamic. He was a phenom, but the league caught up with him, and he never adjusted to the adjustment.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to discount what Kaepernick did in the short time that he did it.
For a minute, he was hot. Yeah.
Brock is evolving as a quarterback.
He gets better every year, and that's the thing. That's what Debo's saying. Like he wants to be better than he ever has been. He wants to continue to improve himself, and that's what you want out of your starting quarterback, Aaron. Like you want that.
I love that he holds himself really accountable.
Yeah. It's nice to see
someone
that.
like Brady, say what you want about him and all the talk of cheating and this, that, and the third. I say this, that, and the third a lot too, just like Debo. So
Debo says that a lot.
I say that all the time. It's just I meant just like other stuff.
I know. No, I don't say that. But one thing Debo says that I say a lot, and I noticed it when I watch his podcast. I say, "Oh yeah, for sure." He says, "Oh yeah, for sure." I say that like all the time.
I was not surprised that he's that way, but like I like quarterbacks that hold themselves accountable, and maybe he's going to get to the point where he's going to start screaming at guys on the sideline. Maybe he's not there yet. I'm always for like, and we can transition a little bit into the sideline thing and your conversation with Larry and all of that. But like, I have no issues when stuff like that happens, or when guys hold each other accountable, or when maybe you see somebody pulled over to the side. And maybe in the future, you see him talking to a receiver like, you got to run this route. This, you did this wrong, but hey, I got faith in you, whatever. All that stuff. When you at the top, when you're the facilitator, the quarterback, and you calm the people down around you who make the plays to just go out there and do their job, it makes it so much easier for them. You got to have a guy that's steady. He's that dude. If you got a guy out there that's panicking, kind of like Jimmy Garoppolo and Crater's under pressure and doesn't seem like he takes accountability for stuff. We used to always talk about that in press conferences, how he always just seemed to like brush it off. And I really hated that about him. Brock Purdy is completely the opposite. And like I said, I've never really been big on quarterback jerseys, but he's making a case for himself when he gets paid next year. Like I said, I'm a big boy, so I probably got to get like a really big jersey. Somebody said I should get a Dominic Pooney jersey. But yeah, it was, I like that video. It really made me, gave me a lot to chew on and think about.
A lot to digest. It was and that's the thing. This team really, they all say the same stuff about Brock, and that's what I'm telling you. Like, I think someone in the comments said he's muscular between the ears. He's a smart ass quarterback, man, and he wants to get better, and he's justifying to get paid the money he's gonna probably get paid next year. And that's the thing. Yep. Like,
he's getting paid.
This team loves him. That's all that matters. If the team is behind him, the team supports him, they love him. They know that's their quarterback. Like, he makes big time plays. Like some of these plays he makes, the dime to CMC, the dime to freaking George Kittle. I mean, he was dancing in the pocket for like 10 minutes.
No one else. He doesn't get the credit like the big guys.
If Patrick Mahomes makes those plays, they'll probably
they pee in their pajamas about it all the time.
Man. Yeah. If Mahomes posts that or makes that play, they're going to be Brock Purdy. Oh, that's a good play. Oh, what a nice play by Brock Purdy. But it's how it is. It's the media perception, like you said, and the media perceives things in different ways, especially nowadays, because social media engulfs we see every little thing about every aspect of the game, man. We see locker room talk. We see everything. Like back in the day, we didn't see that. And, this is kind of a good segue because yesterday I talked to Jesse Sapalo. I interviewed him. I had the pleasure, a legend,
awesome,
4-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Pro Bowler,
Awesome.
one of the best Niner offensive linemen, in the history of the books. Great player, great guy. So what was that?
I told them we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to that because
So
we're building,
transitioning to that. So what I'm saying is, I talked to Jesse about the yesteryear versus now, and it got us talking to basically the Deebo Samuel situation. And he said, man, he didn't see anything wrong with what Deebo did because he's fiery. Your emotions get the best of you. In social media, we see everything. So it's like, he told me they used to do this all the time. If there's an issue, you go, you knock some sense into your teammate. Now, the issue is if it continues to linger. So if next week there's still some drama, that's an issue. You don't want to keep beating up on a guy that, the point was made. Lock in, make the play, stop screwing up. Because Deebo on the offense, they put, Moody in position to hit the field goal, and he missed. And this offense is working their head off. Like, yes, they didn't score in the red zone, but before that third missed field goal, Aaron, Deebo actually made a big time catch. He got yacked. Like, go watch the game again. Watch the film. He makes a big play. So he's probably pissed. Like, bro, I just busted my ass so you can make this field goal and you missed. And the thing is, Tabor shouldn't have gotten involved.
Tabor needed to mind his oown business.
And I get it. You don't put your hands on someone. It's the new generation. They don't like it. And that's what Larry was mad about. I had a 40-minute argument. I mean, we went back and forth. It was crazy. He didn't want to change his topic. I didn't want to change my stance. I'm going to stand on business. I get it. You don't put hands up, but Tabor shouldn't have interjected himself into the situation. It's between Moody and Deebo. And Sapalo said that too. He says, they're grown men, handle it. Yeah. He said, back in our days, man, they would have, Ronnie Lott would have killed someone on that sideline.
I personally, and I tweeted this, and people were like, that's a bad tweet. You'd be a bad teammate. I said something about elbowing someone in the temple. You know why I felt that way? I was pissed. Is his demeanor, his body language. It kills me. You miss a kick and you just look so defeated and so he doesn't look at the media when he's talking to them. I'm like, dude, you exude no confidence. So we shouldn't have any confidence in you. And you shouldn't have another grown man defending you on the sideline with another player coming up to you. You need to sack up and be able to take responsibility for that, not have somebody protect you. That's another thing that pissed me off. And it pissed a lot of other people off too. If someone's going to come at you and they're going to point you in the face and say, lock in, and maybe use some colorful words, and you have another grown man, like you're in high school, like the big bully came after you and your protector just showed up like the Fonz always protected, what's his name in Happy Days? Like, really? That doesn't instill in me a lot of confidence that my kicker has a testicular fortitude.
The other guy had to stick up for him. And Moody said, listen, man, I understand what Deebo said. He doesn't need anybody picking his fights. Let Moody handle that. I just think, at the end of the day, man, okay, you missed one field goal, whatever. You missed two. Okay, he missed 3 field goals, Aaron, and I know his ankle was, sprained. He missed some time.
Then don't play.
Don't play. You might not. You shouldn't have.
I'm so sick of that. Well, he was hurt. So what? So are a lot of other players.
I'm going to say this right now, Aaron. I'm going to say this, and some people probably won't like it. They coddle Jake Moody. They treat him like a little baby. They treat him like he's like a kindergartner, bro. I don't. Bro, yeah, you drafted him in third round. He's just a player like everybody else.
I'm gonna ask you this: if he misses that kick at the end of the game, we lose and ultimately drop to a losing record. Do the Niners cut him after that game?
I don't think they do, man. That's because they treat him
so
like
ridiculous.
They treat him like he's Teddy Ruxpin, man. I don't get it. That's what they do.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Good comment. 187. Fred Warner and BA got in a fight last year. I think it's because the perception on Deebo is, he's not a good player. He's slow. He can't. People hate Deebo, but listen, I'm going to tell you otherwise. Look at what he did with Ricky Pearsall all week. He protected him. He took him to the Warriors game. He introduced him to Steph Curry. You guys saw the Bleacher Report video, right, where they were mic'd up. Bro, that was all Deebo and him. The chemistry is insane. He talked about it the other day, how, he made sure that he had people with him. This was Ricky Pearsall's first time back in San Francisco since he got shot. Are you kidding me? Deebo made sure he was safe. And then the interview we just played about Brock, Debo's a good ass teammate. He's a leader. He's a captain. But people are, oh, Debo only has 2 touchdowns. That's what people's argument to me. Oh, he only has 2 touchdowns. They have fucking George Kittle. They have so many good players on this offense, Aaron. They have Juwan Jennings. Yeah, okay, he has 2 touchdowns, but he works, man. When his number's called, he puts in the work. He's had 100-yard games this season. He's got touchdowns. He's had big-time plays. Like, I don't know what people expect. He's working his head off. Like, I know he's not putting up the monster, Justin Jefferson stats. That's not the type of guy he is. He works his head off, and he respects his teammates. But if someone is out there not pulling their weight, he's going to tell them because he has the nuts to do it. If it was Fred Warner, George Kittle, somebody else that said that to Moody, nobody would have blinked an eye. Nobody would have.
Think about that, man. You bust your ass on the field. It's like 90 degrees in this game, right? Everybody's tired. Everybody's exhausted. Everybody's thirsty. Everybody wants to go home and go to bed, like get on that plane in the air conditioning and just take a nap, And then you got this like aw shucks kicker coming out on the field who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else than in that stadium. And then he proceeds he doesn't seem like he's focused when he makes kicks. The body language to me is the thing that angers me more than enemy.
Yeah, that's the thing. His body language is irritating. And Larry, he hated that I said that. I said, I don't think that Moody cares as much as these other guys. Because whenever they interview him, I know I got to make mistakes.
Which is weird because Larry has gotten after people in the past.
His mentality, Aaron, I'm going to say this. His mentality, Jake Moody's mentality, reminds me of Dante Pettis' mentality. They're just like...
Yes. It's okay. Just football. Jeez.
I remember Tracy Sandler interviewed Dante Pettis one time. I remember this video went mega viral. We posted it because he's also a polarizing subject of a player, just like Moody, because he has talent, but he never lived up to the damn talent, right? Because he was a 2nd-round pick, and everybody thought he was going to be this star wide receiver, right? So I remember, and they asked him, it was like his 2nd year, 3rd year, they go, what are your goals for the season? I'm just happy to play football and be here. And he, as a wide receiver, you want to be the dog. You want to be an alpha, like BA. People hated BA, but he says, I'm a Lamborghini. I'm going to be the top dog. Like, you want your receiver to believe they're the best.
I want T.O. I want someone lifting weights in their driveway, okay?
Yeah, bro. Dante Pettis, I just want to play. I'm just happy to play football.
Sound like Michael Jackson in the
I'm like, bro,
mid-80s.
what? I was so irritated. I remember that interview, and everybody's like, what kind of mentality is that? As a wide receiver, you're supposed to be the alpha. You're supposed to be that. Yeah, I'm the guy.
I grew up in a situation when I was growing up. I grew up in a situation where I grew up in a very multicultural atmosphere. If we had a dude that was rolling with us who acted like that, probably was going to get clowned. Yeah. Because he just exudes some other kind of energy that most of us ain't really down with. And it's just weird. You come off like, I don't know, man. He just don't play football. I love cats too, dude. I love cats too, but I'm not going to do this on the field after I score a touchdown. Like, are you serious, bro?
I love cats. I got a cat. I'm not going to celebrate.
There's 3 in my house, but I'm not going to lick my, come on now. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm surprised Larry disagreed with you. I heard
he doesn't like Debo.
He doesn't like Debo. I have my issues with Debo, and they mainly stem from the fact that I think and I hate to say this, he's cooked. Like, he might be on the downside.
I mean, that's true, but he's still a good player, man.
No, when I watch him, he doesn't have the same
veracity. He's not 2021 Debo. Everybody wants 2021 Debo. Ladies and gentlemen,
he's been banged up over.
He's been hurt. It's 2024, guys. Look, the way he plays.
All I'm saying.
It causes his longevity of his career to every year his longevity decreases. He's like a running back. Running backs have short shelf life. He's a running back and wide receiver. He's a wide back, right? So he runs, he catches, he does everything you need in it. He does kick returns, punt returns. He does everything for this team, man. You got to realize that it's not all about scoring touchdowns. And Deebo Samuel worked his tail off, man. He played a week after he had pneumonia, for Christ's sake, man. What else does this man need to do to prove to the fan base that he's worth the damn? People hate Debo, man.
Says even though Larry and Debo haters say Debo isn't producing, defense is literally game plan for him. Debo's presence alone changes the Niners offense. He is a captain, not just a bum on the team. See, I don't think he's a bum. Like I keep saying, I just think that he might be on the downside just based on the amount of damage. His style of play is not conducive to a long career. He has about a 4 to 6 year window where his body takes a ton of abuse, and he's starting to look like a guy who, I'm not saying he shies away from contact, he just doesn't have the burst. And everyone was talking about, oh, he lost all this weight, yada yada yada. Maybe he needed that extra weight to protect him. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, he doesn't have the same speed. I agree.
That's why you want younger guys to step up. So if it strictly becomes a football decision to move on from him, you have that leeway. Although I'm starting to think he's going to be here next year based on the fact that Ayuk is not going to be healthy probably for the good part of the early part of the season. So
we'll see. But they did drop some receivers. Ricky Pearsall looks like he's really stepping up. I mean, it was great to see him score his first touchdown. I mean, what a story this guy's been, man. Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy, they got a good connection going. He's cooking, and I feel like that's another reason they drafted him, because they don't know if Debo's going to be back or not. So, yeah, of course, you get a guy like Ricky who can run the stuff that Debo used to run over the middle slants. He can probably play the X in a year or so once he gets a little bulk on his frame, because he's a good route runner, just like Brandon Ayuk. This Ricky Pearsall is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
How do you read people so well? How do you guys read people so well? Can you read minds or body language? Moody was brought back too soon, needed one more week. Not his fault to say he doesn't care about him. If you are designated healthy to play, then you are healthy. If you are not healthy, you tell the team you are not healthy, and they keep the other kicker. It's simple. It's not freaking rocket science.
You know, when we were talking with Larry, he did say that Larry said that he asked him specifically, and he says, yeah, I'm still going through rehab. There's still a little pain. I don't think he was 100%, which I agree with Keys here. Like, they did bring him back too soon, 100%. But I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a body language expert, but you could just kind of, I don't know. You could just, that's just my opinion. I mean, everybody has an opinion. Keys, you're entitled to yours too. Just looking, maybe that's who he is. Maybe that, to me, it just feels like he's lackadaisical, and he's like, you could just see, like, you know, some people like BA, when he talks, he's a very introverted person. Like, you could tell, like, he just doesn't like to talk to the media. He's just very quiet. He gives like a short answer. He doesn't express himself a lot. Whereas a guy like Debo, he's going to express himself. He's going to tell you when he's at the press conference, he tells it like it is. He has no fear in saying what's on his mind, speaking his mind, you know.
You don't have to be a body language expert to know that somebody's not confident in themselves.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ways to tell if somebody's not confident in themselves or if they're nervous is if they don't look you in the eye. I had that problem as a youngster because I have really bad ADHD and I'm a nervous person by nature. And I was also bullied, so I was always kind of like standoffish by looking people in the eye. As I've grown up as an adult and gotten a little bigger, I tend to look people in the eye more, but I was shy. I was introverted for a while. So unfortunately in football, you need to kind of be some sort of an alpha male to play it. It's the sport. If you're not 100% like dedicated to being out there, it's either going to come out in your play or your personality or whatever. So like, I don't know, man, like just based on this year, and I guess I could transition over to special teams, but like this special teams is probably the worst unit I've seen in a long time. They're the worst unit in the league by far. And it's not even
bad, bro. This special teams is so bad. And this is another topic I brought up. I said, get rid of the special teams coordinator. Larry's like, well, you can't just fire a coordinator. I said, how do you fix it? He said it was the personnel, it was the players. Okay, yeah, but they've been putting emphasis on getting players through the offseason. Like I always read reports of 49ers putting emphasis on special teams. They got a guy this week, Nick McLeod. He's a special teamer. So
McLeod. Sorry.
Hold up. Oh, where did I go? Hold up. Am I live? Oh, sorry, my screen changed off. No, yeah, I mean, they've been putting an emphasis on special teams, but we see an issue every week. There's an error every single week. To me, maybe they're not prepared. Maybe they're not, organized in special teams. I don't know. Something's got to change because this second half of the season, this is going to be tough. A lot of these games are not going to be easy. They got some big games, Green Bay, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Bills, the Lions, Seahawks game's tough. Special teams has cost them games this year.
Let me ask you this. Are you concerned? Because I've asked other people this and they try to downplay it. As a 49ers fan, I know you're a positive guy. You're always pushing positivity with your page, and it's good. I wish I was more positive. But my negative side is telling me this is going to cost them in the end. It's been an issue all freaking season, and I'm thinking in a big game when they need to have a kick, or it's a close game and they need to get a stop, they give up a kick return. Like it just for me to tell you that I don't think about that every time I watch a 49ers game, especially when you have to play a team like the Lions or the Cardinals at the end of the season. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm thinking, watch us. It just happens. It's happened so many times.
And that's just a natural reaction. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. It's a natural fear that I think most Niner fans have. I would probably say like 80 to 90% Niner fans had. That's what the vibe was on Sunday. If you were on Twitter, every single post I saw was like, oh my God, leading up to that moment, where people were like, what the hell? And I think Debo spoke for pretty much the fans. I think he said what was on everybody's mind.
You think he said more than lock in? Like maybe he said,
it doesn't matter what he said.
Bleeper. I don't care either.
I don't care what he said. It doesn't matter. It's all water under the bridge. They squashed it. But I think, again, Bob, I don't want to keep dragging this on because everybody's talked about this. Everybody's had a huge take. But at the end of the day, man, he said what needed to be said. Jake Moody made the field goal at the end of the game, and he redeemed himself. And that's what needs to happen. Make those field goals. Moving forward, Aaron, don't miss your damn kicks. And you know what?
And
if somebody wants to hold Debo accountable for his mistakes, they can do the same. Tell him if he drops a pass, somebody should say, catch that shit. But this happens in good teams. Like you've seen the Chiefs, they fight on the sidelines.
The Niners haven't been in the news with this kind of stuff for years. Since this new era took over, have you ever remember seeing any types of fights on the sideline between offense, defense, or a coach? Nothing. We never see anything.
In training camp, yes. In training camp, yes, Fred Warner and Brandon Ayuk, but that was Fred Warner pushing BA to be the better player.
Because BA comes off like a person who's he's got a laissez-faire kind of personality.
Well, like I said, he's very introverted. I think it comes out in his play sometimes. And yes, it does. And that's what
he could be more demonstrative and angry running routes.
Yes.
Football is not a nice guy sport. It's okay to be mean and scary and yell at people and
they're literally hitting each other, Aaron. Like it's a sport where you're hitting each other. So yes, I'm sorry that Tabor felt a certain way, but Debo's getting hit on every play he's in. Like he's getting hit. Debo's taking those hits. So I don't know. I want to move on for this topic because we've talked about it all week. At the end of the day, I still feel Debo did nothing wrong.
Yep, I am the same. Trying to think here.
Let's take a look at the injury report real quick. Got a couple of things. Okay. I'm going to hop out. So Trent Williams missed his second day of practice with an ankle issue, wrist to ankle.
Jeez.
A little concerned about that. I love Trent Williams. We need him to be healthy. We talked about Juwan Jennings, who missed today. He was ankle injury. We need those guys. This is a must-win game. And then I also saw that Nick Bosa missed another practice today with a hip injury. I hope he could play. He played through a lot of pain. A lot of people trashed on Nick Bosa last weekend because, the Baker play. If he would have went further and tried to take him down, it would have been a hip drop tackle. They would have got penalized. He would have hurt his hip even further. And, quarterbacks, they're very protected. Something would have been called. I honestly think Nick did the right thing in that situation. People are going to disagree with me. He's got a hip issue, and I hope he can play on Sunday because we need Nick Bosa. Because otherwise, this pass rush has been non-existent.
Well, even with Bosa on the field, they've been non-existent. And that I want to talk on this before we get out of here. We talk so much about special teams and how bad they've been. This defense hasn't been great either. If you had the ability to make a decision based on the amount of what the evidence is so far, and if it continues to be this, do you stay with him this season, Sorensen, or do you just gut this whole thing and be like, let's go bring in a real defensive coordinator? Because I don't think he's his inexperience is showing. I tweeted it on Sunday. I could run this defense because all they do is rush 4, drop 8. There's nothing exciting about it. They don't show you anything. It's just, here it is. Try to beat it. And good quarterbacks can beat the cover 3. So,
yeah. Interesting stuff. I hope this team is healthy. It's going to be a tough game. Both teams need to win this game to stay within striking distance of Arizona. Seattle's coming off a bye week, so they can be a little bit more rested. Check this out, Aaron. 49ers, they're trying to go for their 3rd straight win, right? They're trying to go for their 3rd straight win. They're playing their 3rd straight opponent coming off the bye week.
That's fair.
Crazy. That's crazy. It's not fair, but they got to win. That's the way the schedule worked out. It's kind of crazy. They got to get this. DK Metcalf supposedly supposed to come back this week on Sunday. He's been dealing with a knee injury. I hope he comes back because I want to see Diamond Lenore strap that man up. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
Yeah, I want to see him get strapped up again like he usually gets.
Yeah, he always cries against the. If you go through like the history of DK Metcalf and search up like his reaction videos, his best ones are against the night. Like there's the ones where he's throwing, he's like always mad on the sidelines. There's the one where him and Drake Greenlaw getting an altercation. Like Diamond Lenore and him last year. Fred Warner, makes that interception, and then there was like a scuffle at the they live rent free in this man's head. A couple years ago, Mooney Ward had this man stressed, and last year. Thanksgiving game, they asked Mooney Ward. They said, "Yo, before the game, Kyle Shanahan told you to cover." He goes, "Yeah, he told me to. That was my assignment, and I made sure that." And then you see Debo strapped him. They love to play this man because they live rent free in his mind. It's all they just mind f him.
For the way that the Chiefs own us mentally, we own Seattle.
Yes,
and the Cowboys. We own them in a similar way.
6-0 against Seattle in their last 6 games. So. I hope they can make it 7-0.
Me too.
And speaking of that, I want to go to this. This will be the last thing. Did you see what Geno Smith said today? So let me read you. I posted this. Geno Smith, he had his press conference today. Obviously, quarterbacks on Thursday. Brock had his presser. Geno had his presser. So they asked Geno Smith, like, how personal? Like, what are your thoughts on taking the 49ers? They beat you guys 6 in a row. He says it's very personal. He says, when you think about division opponents, these games matter the most. He says, especially with the 49ers. He says, they've been at the top of the division, one of the best teams in the league for a while. He knows in order to, get to the playoff, he has to get through the Niners. And he has not been able to beat this team. They own him. And that's what he said. He says, I take this very personal. Oh, man. Geno's coming in fired up. I love it.
I'll say this, and when we get out of here, I saw Shasky asking a question while walking, and I responded to him about the confidence against, the Seahawks, and if it's, high or whatever. And I pretty much said to him, I responded to the tweet by saying, any other year, I would say, yeah, we own these guys, blah, blah, blah. But I said, this season, nothing's automatic. Nothing's automatic. Even teams you think you're going to smash ends up being a close game. So my prediction, I don't have a score prediction for Sunday's game. My prediction is just go beat the Seahawks.
Beat them. I don't care how you do it. Beat them. You know what? They used to beat us a lot. And now the tide has changed, which is great.
Yes, it has. And hopefully it continues that way for a long time. Just keep re-signing Geno. That's all you got to do.
That's it. All you got to do is make him uncomfortable, make him sick on the sidelines. Remember, last game, there was the meme, and he looked at the team and he goes, "What the fuck was that?" He was like, "What the fuck is it?" He was so bad. He was cussing at the teammates. You had DK on the Metcalf. You had DK Metcalf on the sidelines screaming at people. You had, I think it was JSN. This guy was throwing up. They were so sick.
He got hit so hard that he threw up.
We beat the vomit out of a guy.
If any game could be a get-right game where we start to roll, it's this game. We'll see, though. That's all I got to say.
I mean, they got 2 games in a row.
But I mean, get right as in start to click offensively, defensively, start to get that swag back, so to speak. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
All right, my man.
All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be talking about a Seattle dominant victory, and we'll be looking forward to the Packers. All right, take care, everyone.
Let's go.